Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Pikeville City Manager's Report. I'm Jill Farley-Dotson, your host for today's show, along with Pikeville City Manager Philip Elswick. Hey,
Hi,
Philip,
Jill.
good day. So, lots going on in the city of Pikeville.
Always.
Since we met last time, we've had a huge festival, lots of events, lots of projects coming to completion, and then the start of many, many more. So we're going to jump right in and talk about some of the projects that we're doing right now. And one of those, a lot of our community members who walk around town, who love to use our sidewalks and streets for exercise, have noticed a bit of a change in our bridges, Poly Bridge, our Pedestrian Bridge across Pikeville Pond. Those two bridges are receiving some much needed updates and improvements to continuously make them safe. So let's talk a little bit about those projects and where we are.
Yeah, we inspected both the Poly Bridge and the 7th Street Pedestrian Bridge. And of course, we found some issues with both bridges, and it necessitated closing those for some time. So we have gotten all of our construction documents prepared and found contractors for both of those bridges. Construction is actually ongoing on the 7th Street Bridge now, so I'm very happy to report it should be opened in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Poly Bridge, we've also awarded a contract for that. The commission awarded that contract on May the 9th. Unfortunately, there's a bit of a delay in getting the materials needed for that project, so it could be up to 90 days before the materials arrive, and then there'll be a construction period after that. So Poly's going to take a little longer, but 7th Street will be open very shortly.
That's all good news, especially as we get into the summer months. And I think we didn't realize the number of people that use those bridges on a daily basis, whether it's walking to work when it's nice outside or just for exercise and getting to and from. So hopefully those projects will be completed quickly.
Yeah, those bridges are important to our community, and we want to get them back open.
Something else that's very important to our community are our economic development efforts. Obviously, that's what I'm involved with day to day, every day. And we have a lot of different projects going on there and a lot of different opportunities for our citizens. One of those being the Rustic Roots building, former Rustic Roots building on 2nd Street in downtown Pikeville. There's a city-owned property that we're now looking to locate a new business in.
Yeah, that building's located on 2nd Street. Previously housed Rustic Roots, as you said. And it's about 3,000 square feet, I think. And we have proposals, a request for proposals out now. It was advertised in the newspaper, I think, more than once. And we'll open those on May the 31st. And we're looking for what the commission believes to be the best business proposal for that piece of property. So we don't have any preconceived notions as what that idea may be. We'll review all of those when we receive them, and then the commission will select what they believe is best for that property.
Sure, and I do want to talk a little bit about how those proposals are received and what is included in that proposal. You would have the business based on a rent amount for that, and then with that proposal, like you said, it's been posted in on social media and of course in the newspaper as well. Just the detailed information that you would want to have in your business in that location.
Yeah, we certainly don't make that decision based on just the name or the ownership. We ask for a business plan for how that person or individual intends to operate their business, what the true idea is, what their marketing strategies are, what their hours of operation are, and then all of that becomes terms of your lease, and the commission expects you to fulfill that. Whatever you've said you're going to do, we expect you to do as part of your lease agreement.
And those that proposal can be found online on our website, on the city's Facebook page, and also in the News Express. It will be advertised in there from now until the 31st. And of course, they can always call the Office of Economic Development.
Yeah, and the process we're talking about, the business plan, that's not an onerous process. That's really just asking for you to put in writing what you want to do with your business. So I don't want to make that sound more burdensome than it is.
No, it's a very simple, easy process. Just give us very detailed information as to what you want to do with that space and how you think it can be an experience for our visitors that come to downtown. One of the other projects that we have had that is really nearing the completion and opening date is Appalachian Tank, located at the Kentucky Enterprise Industrial Park. They've been working up there on getting employees hired and getting the building fitted properly for their needs, and they're really getting close to that time.
Yeah, actually, they have a number of employees on site now, and you, of course, were there yesterday. Their equipment is installed, and they should be in production in May. At the end of May, maybe early June. They expect to employ up to 57 people eventually. So that's a really a good tenant for our park. It's an international corporation. Honestly, the parent corporation is Canadian. And they have a very robust company and marketing platform. They have been quite successful in this market. So we have no reason to believe that Appalachian Tank, their subsidiary, won't be successful either. So we're excited to see that come online and start producing tanks and put people to work.
And I can tell you what, and you know this too from conversations that we have had with their employees, that the ownership and management has been so pleased with our workforce, not only determination, ethic, and skill, but just by the people that they are and how eager they are to get to work and to stay close to home and to work rather than going somewhere else to finding employment.
Yeah, they, I think, told us they had 240-ish applications, the vast majority of which are very qualified, capable people. Our workforce is something that attracts people to Eastern Kentucky, but they don't truly appreciate it until they start working with those individuals. And our people are hard workers, they're dedicated to their job, they want to stay home. There's not a lot of sick time used. They're just really good employees, and the more we can tell that story and other people that are here can tell that story, just the more their economy will continue to grow and flourish.
I really think more than anything when we go out to recruit manufacturers or companies to come in and locate here, not only is our area beautiful and the location of our area is very desirable for a lot of these companies, but the main component that they talk about and they look for and that we can provide to them is our employees or our workforce that we have. So that's something that we're very proud of, and I'm certain that they are very thankful that we have those employees here. We have entered into a partnership with UPike, PMC, Big Sandy for something that is a relatively new concept for our area, and that is a medical industry cluster. And we've been working on that for a number of months now and are getting closer to seeing that come to fruition. Right.
The concept is that this cluster would form and that you would have a number of businesses grow, spin off, medical, life science-based businesses. That's a totally new concept for Eastern Kentucky anyway. Of course, we're very blessed to have Pikeville Medical Center, a top regional healthcare center, as well as University of Pikeville, and their medical school and optometry school. Most towns our size are not blessed with three things of that nature, so we're in a really good position to do this. It'll be a process. We'll be looking to hire an executive director for that cluster that spends their every day working on developing those businesses, making connections in our region and maybe outside of our region for people that are already doing that type of work to maybe grow in Pikeville. There's really 5 areas that were identified in a strategy report that was completed. One of those was telehealth, and I don't mean telehealth as it's traditionally done now. I mean telehealth innovation and product development, changing of the service delivery. So taking telehealth that it is now and improving that. And Pikeville Medical Center has a really, really good, robust telehealth program, and that can certainly be expanded elsewhere. But also, I mentioned the optometry school. Optometric and ophthalmic goods is an area that was identified as a strength for Eastern Kentucky. There's research going on at KICO, of course, and that can be used to spin off products or other research. Behavioral health, counseling, therapy, drug, alcohol addiction, looking at ways that we can develop that industry in Eastern Kentucky as well. And then medical device repair and refurbishment. And this is much like we're talking about employees for Appalachian Tank. The mining workforce, those people that have worked in the mining industry, are very adept at a whole range of skills, whether that be electronics or metalworking or any host of other things. So this industry would look at taking medical equipment, not necessarily producing it, but taking equipment from elsewhere in the country or internationally, repairing that, refurbishing that, and then sending it back out of our region. And then finally, environmental health. And that comes very much from the mining industry, where we had a number of water labs, air quality labs, ventilation companies and then also maybe environmental remediation. Those are services that we have here now as a remnant of the coal industry, I suppose, and they're very good at it. And those skills and that expertise can be expanded to a whole host of other industries. So we'll be looking at ways to do that as well. So it's very exciting concept of development of a new industry cluster based around medicine. I believe there's a lot of growth there. Of course, our partners do. We've invested a lot of time and energy into getting to this point. So in the future, you'll be hearing more and more about our cluster and the steps that we're taking to develop that and some of those businesses to come to fruition.
Yeah. We're going to switch gears just a little bit as we enter into the summer months and our heavy tourism season. We have a lot going on with tourism and events. We have a new executive director in Paul Bowles, and he has a wonderful staff that has grown by leaps and bounds, very specific to the needs that we have in the tourism department. And we are just looking for anyone interested in being part of that or offering advice or having consultations about what they would like to see in our community.
Right. You know, tourism, we've talked about it for some time, is very critical to the future of this region and a very large component of our comprehensive plan. I know I talk about the comprehensive plan a lot, but that is, we take the input of our citizens and turn that into the roadmap for the next 5 years, so to speak. So tourism was a big component of that. And we have certainly taken that to heart, and we have a new tourism director. We have Lauren McCourt, who's the assistant director. We also hired a director of outdoor recreation, PJ Collins, and then finally our director of special events, Kevin Roberts. All of those people are dedicated to tourism and events on a daily basis. So now we're beginning to work on the areas of potential tourism growth in Pikeville, Pike County. And those may be things like developing businesses from the grassroots level up, fishing guides, for instance, or hiking guides. It may be people that are experienced or have an interest in agritourism or wildlife, bird watching, things of that nature. So we're looking to identify those people now and begin working with them, hoping that they will choose to develop a business related to that we can then support through our tourism efforts. It's not really our role to establish those businesses, so to speak, but it is our role to support them and to help their business grow and to flourish. So that's certainly what we're trying to do. We have been successful in that to a large degree, but there's much, much more that we need to do. And we're not looking at just the city limits of Pikeville. We're looking at more of a regional type concept. There's a lot of great things here, but there's a lot of great things in our region as well. And we're working with Breaks Interstate Park actively to build that relationship, to support one another, to leverage their resources and our resources to benefit our complete area, our county, and our region. So, we're not interested in just people that live in the city of Pikeville. We're interested in anybody that has a concept related to tourism or an interest in some part of that we can be of benefit to.
One of the things that we've talked for a long time about is economic development-based tourism, and that's by and large what so many communities in Kentucky do, because we are very unique in the state and do have so many things to offer. In Eastern Kentucky, it might not be top of mind awareness for so many people that think of Kentucky as the horse capital of the world or what have you, but getting those people here and getting those opportunities for them to not only take a day trip, but spend a weekend or even a whole week's vacation here. If they stay in Pikeville, play in the mountains, as we say, and support our local businesses, and then as we add new businesses, like you said, with bird watching, hiking, guides. I know PJ is very involved right now in continuing our Wabamas Park Trail system, which will have a new name coming up very soon. But those are things that we can use to promote our area and to get those people here. That's what people want to do, especially we've seen coming out of COVID, how people are not necessarily going to your larger metropolitan areas. They want to come to something more intimate for their families and to see more natural beauty than they would a lot of concrete buildings.
Absolutely. COVID kind of led to a renaissance of outdoor recreation and parks And it just so happens that plays well with their comprehensive plan. You know, you and I have talked a number of times, when you live in an area, you cease to see its value and its beauty and the resources that it has. I mean, that's just commonplace to you. And we think that other places have better things, or whatever the case may be. When people visit Pikeville, they always remark about the beauty of our mountains, the cleanliness of our city, the waterways, and they want to spend time in nature. So we're taking steps as best we can with our resources to provide those opportunities. And there's some really big plans in the future for tourism that I really shouldn't talk about right now anyway. But things that would be really transformative, I believe, for not just tourism here, but throughout our area. And of course, that requires a lot of partners, and we'll be reaching out to those people and working with them, hopefully hand in hand, to make those things come to fruition.
I had a conversation yesterday with someone who asked me if I thought Appalachia was overused when promoting this area, and I said, you know what? Maybe if you live here, you live in it. So just like you said, it is your day to day. But for someone who's never been here before, when they hear that and they see what we have, that's a totally different ballgame for some of those people. So no, I don't think it's overused at all.
No, and it feels like Appalachia has become kind of trendy, which, I mean, does seem unusual to those of us that live here. But there's a real interest in the mountains and our culture and our tradition, and you know, not to say that we still live in, you know, a different century by any means, but we still have those things, and it's still interesting to people, and we need to build on those resources. And you know, we have taken the initiative to develop a new festival in the fall that is focused around moonshine, makers, which refers to artisans, of course, and then music. And we want that to be based on Appalachian music and artisans, crafters, things of that nature. Of course, moonshine is always going to be Appalachian, but you know, it's important to us. It's important to this commission that we kind of get back to the roots of the Appalachian culture and heritage, and use that as a competitive advantage as we're building our tourism industry.
I always say, when you go away for certain days and you come back home and you see the mountains, it's like coming home.
Absolutely.
And they embrace you, and that's what we want to do for our visitors, of course, that choose to spend their dollars here and lay their heads here. We talked a little bit about PJ and his efforts to expand our trail system. He has been really, since he started just a few months ago, dedicated to what his job is, the outdoors, our ecosystem, so many different things, the trail system, but also working with our schools to instill in them the importance of planting, of growth, of sustainability.
Right. PJ's only been with us a few months, maybe 3 months now, but we have made great strides in the outdoor recreation component of what we do with tourism. One of the projects that you're referring to, of course, is planting native species of trees along Bob Amos Trail. And if you're familiar with that trail at all, you will recognize the slope there that comes down from the trail to YMCA, which is not wooded, it's just grassy. So there is I guess a lack of native species along the trail and in that area. So PJ wanted to have a project that we did in conjunction with Pikeville High School to plant native species and bring those back to our forest. And we received those trees at no cost from the Soil Conservation District, so we certainly want to thank them for that. But it was, I was there the day we were doing this, and it's just a good opportunity for those kids to get to be out in nature and learn about native species and how to plant trees and things of that nature. And then it's a benefit to our trail as well. Certainly not, I mean, that's obvious. It's a benefit to our trail to have those species, native species. But beyond that, PJ has treated some hemlock trees in the city park to take care of a blight or a pest issue that it has. He started reworking trails at Bob Amos Park and building those, upgrading those. We've completed about half a mile in conjunction with the fire department, and several of the guys at the fire department are very nature-oriented, like to hike and be out in the woods, and they have graciously given their time to help with those efforts.
it's going to be a wonderful system.
It will, absolutely.
Long trails.
Very long trails.
Once those are
yes.
completed, and certainly looking forward to that. We saw, we talk about events, and just last month was the return of Hillbilly Days after
Yes.
a long 2-year absence,
Right.
and I believe probably the biggest that we've had.
I think so. There was a lot of people that really wanted Hillbilly Days to return, and thankfully we were able to do that this year. We had absolutely perfect weather for 3 days. I mean, blue
Unheard of.
skies, warm temperatures, unheard of for Hillbilly Days, exactly. And that resulted in massive crowds, probably record crowds. Paul Bowles, our tourism director and arena GM, he estimated 150,000 people. I'm going to use his estimate. I think he's probably right. But that would be a record crowd for Hillbilly Days, and there's a lot of work goes into that for a lot of people, for the chamber, for Pike County, for the city of Pikeville. But it is also an opportunity to showcase our region and our area for thousands of people that come here for the festival. So a lot of those people return either for future Hillbilly Days festivals, or they just come back for a visit. So it's a great opportunity. We're very proud to host that in Pikeville. The mission of that festival is second to none, to raise kids raise money for the Shriners Hospital. So we're very, very pleased, proud to be able to do that.
I think the planning for next year's festival began before this one was completely
Absolutely,
over.
yeah.
So looking forward to many years of that festival and helping the Shriners raise money for what is most important to everyone, that's our kids. So a lot of events coming up this summer, a lot of different festivals. So let's talk about May's events first.
Okay.
Coming up on May 20th, we have an event called Girls Night Out that our Main Street program is excited to host and put on every year, something that Minta Trimble, our Main Street director, and her board have wanted to do. They went to a place in Ohio and saw this concept. Really great fun, going to be on the 20th.
Yeah, that's, it's really good for our downtown businesses, for retailers, to bring those people in. It's good for those ladies just to be able to get out of the house by themselves, I suppose. But the first one was extremely successful. It's also the same time as the Appalachian Center for the Arts has Driving Miss Daisy. So part of that concept, I believe, was to shop and go to the play. So we hope some people will do that.
The actual event will start at 6 o'clock. The play is at 7:30. So you have an hour or so to mingle, to shop a little bit. One of the really unique components is that we are partnering with an independent winery from Lawrence County, very local, very regional, as we've talked about partnering with these different companies that are coming in to do different tastings at different stops along the way. And then they're also bringing a mobile winery, if you will, that you can partake of some of their drink options and kind of see and hear their story. Delightful group. So we're really excited to have Savage Farms be part of this event this year, and probably many more to come. Also in June, we will have Dinner in White on June 11th, and those tables are going quickly.
Yeah, Dinner in White just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and which is a good thing. I think at the last one we had, there were over 500 people.
There were.
I can't imagine this year's will be any smaller. So it's on the 11th. If we have rain that day, I believe it moves into the arena. In the past, we've had just an alternate date, but now we just move it to the arena. So if you haven't got your table, you better be getting it soon.
You should. I was looking at what was available yesterday, and they are going quickly. A lot of interest, like you said, and it just keeps growing and growing. I believe this is the 9th year, maybe the 8th year, that it has been going on. And Dinner in White, for those that don't know, is used as a fundraiser for our Main Street program to feed right back into the community for flower projects, art projects, Umbrella Alley, the murals that you see throughout the downtown area are all a result of those funds that are raised by this event. So it's a wonderful time to get out and see the city. It's beautiful.
It is.
And it's really, it's a great time to just have an adult evening out with your friends and be entertained and know that your dollars are going back to a great cause. At the arena, for instance, we have Paw Patrol Live, several other things that are listed. You can find those on the arena's website. But with our festivals, Independence Day at Pikeville is the next festival.
Yeah, it's the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th of July, which I believe is a Saturday, Sunday, Monday. It'll culminate with fireworks on the 4th that night. This is our second time having this festival. The first one was successful. We believe this one's going to be even more successful, more vendors and more entertainment. So we hope people make plans to come visit.
More fun.
Absolutely.
For sure. Mountain Girl Experience. This will be the second year also for this festival that is spearheaded by Robin Irwin out of a conversation that she had with some local musicians
Right.
To celebrate mountain women and their art and give them an opportunity to share their experiences.
Yeah, and it kind of plays into our theme of Appalachian heritage culture. Robin has done a tremendous job with that experience, I suppose. And the first one was very well received. This one will be even better received. So we've extended that to 2 days now instead of just one. And there will be more of a festival-like atmosphere that goes with that than there was last year.
And a few moments ago you mentioned the 3M, like we like to call MMM, Moonshine Music and Makers, September 8th through the 10th. Going to be bigger, much bigger than it was last year. Of course, last year was a growing and learning time for us, but that is one festival that I keep getting calls about, that I keep hearing conversations about, and we're really excited about that one too. And then of course Winterfest will happen in December.
The entire month of December.
The entire month of December. I think we're going to add some new elements to that this year, from what I hear.
I think so. Yes.
Not anything we can announce.
Nothing
just
finalized.
Yet. Right, but we are working to make that a bigger and a more exciting, fun experience for everyone involved. Appalachian Center for the Arts stays completely busy. Driving Miss Daisy starts this weekend. We'll go for 2 weekends, and then right now. There's a bed, ice, and quilt display that goes through the summer.
The gallery space at the App stays quite busy. This quilt display came right on the heels of an art display that was there. I have not seen it yet, but I hear that it's very, very good. So we encourage people to go out. There's no cost to do that. You can do it before you go to the play or after, but we hope that you'll come by and see it.
Another offering that they have been doing, I think we've had 3, maybe 4 to this point, but is our Murder Mystery series, and the next one's going to be July 30th, another fistful of bullets.
Yeah, it's Western themed. Don't know much more about it than that, but those have been very well received, and this one will be no different, I'm certain. We have them at the Overlook, and it's been sold out every time. Yeah. Just a really good event, a new event.
Everyone, I've not even been able to go to be in attendance on either, so I'm looking forward to eventually getting there. And then, of course, along with the app, the summer camps, over 90 kids are already enrolled for this summer.
They're all sold out. So the summer camps are just extremely successful. So you have to start early if you want to go.
If you say there's nothing to do in Pikeville, then I don't know what rock you're under, because we always have something going on, not only with our city events and tourism. Paul and his staff at the arena, my goodness, they work tirelessly to put on a number of events that people never even know about, like from board meetings and events and conventions during the day. It's never ending.
Paul was telling me yesterday, as a matter of fact, that through the first quarter of 2022, there have been 47,000 people through our venues. That's incredible.
Certainly a benefit we have in the Appalachian Wireless Arena. We will meet again next month to talk about things going on into the next part of 2022, but we do want everybody to know that our commission meetings are open in person to the public.
Yes, so the second and fourth Monday of every month at 6 o'clock at City Hall, 243 Main Street. If you have any kind of concern or comment you'd like to make to the commission, that's a good time to do it.
Absolutely. Always good stuff, Philip. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
This has been the Pikeville City Manager's Report. Thank you so much for joining us.